Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, but I'm also doing like intermittent fasting, and I think that I get more dehydrated in the day because water just like.
You fast? You fast guy?
Fasting.
Doesn't
Yeah.
look like it.
Stop it.
Hey, it's only been 11 days.
Encouragement, bro.
I actually did. I did my first 24-hour fast of the year a couple of days ago.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
You know, I mean, Ricky was right. Like, you obviously can't tell. I have a sweet tooth. Like, candy's my kryptonite. But in general, like, for the most part, I don't really like. I eat healthy, but I just like overeat sometimes. But one of the things that I find I find easy is like intermittent fasting or like fasting in general. And actually, you know who told me about it first was Fab. So he said he does, like, we were at one of like Danielle's and my girlfriend's friends. We were at a dinner once. He's like, yeah, I just finished like a 3-day fast. And I was like, what the hell, 3 days? Like no food, 3 days. He goes, yeah, just water. So I was talking about it, and I found it like interesting, and I've obviously heard about like the effects of like intermittent fasting and all that stuff. So he's like, yeah, just start like, start a little bit, like do like try for like 16 hours and try like 20 hours.
Yeah.
And then maybe like this past fall, maybe like September or something. Anyways, it was like maybe half a year ago. One day I was like intermittent fasting because I usually don't eat breakfast. And then I was like, next thing I know, it's like 3-4 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I made it this far. Like last time I ate was like 8 p.m. So what, like 4 more hours to go. Ended up doing it. Wasn't so bad. And then so now every like, I don't know, once a month I'll mix in a fast.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
St. Pierre does that, eh? He does it 4 times a year, a 3-day fast.
Who does, sorry?
George St. Pierre.
Oh, yeah?
Actually?
Yeah.
3 days.
3-day fast, yeah, 4 times a year.
I think
Savage.
It's like for the only thing I noticed with the 1 day is like if you drink enough water,
yeah,
like you're fine because it makes you feel full.
Tricks your body.
Yeah. Like the last fast I did was when we were on the podcast here, like a couple days ago. We did like an episode. We were just sitting here and like you get hungry when you're not eating. You get hungry when you're not, obviously you're not eating, when you're not doing something to preoccupy yourself. But if you don't drink enough water, like you feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
We use a lot of energy. Sharp.
It does, dude.
Yeah.
We use a lot of energy when we think too, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, I love fasting. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Now at this point I've been fasting. I've been doing this for like maybe 5-6 years.
Wow.
So at this point now I'm like I don't really care too much about it. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I've tried so many things nutrition wise.
Yeah.
That now it's just like whatever my body's used to anything.
What do you think is best for your body?
I think fasting, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm kind of guy that just eats whatever, whenever. But I lay low on the sugars nowadays, dude. Yeah.
Did you start like when you said fasting for like 5 years? Did you start when you were playing ball? Was there a reason, or just one day you're like, oh, just tried it one day, or was it like a?
No, I learned it from this crazy dude that I play with the Twins. Name of Jason Kanzler, and he was ripped, shredded, and he introduced me to this guy named Jason Ferrugia, who owns a company called Athletic Greens.
Oh yeah.
So and he has this crazy workout plan. He got me introduced to it, and so I'm always down to try new things with nutrition and lifting. So I mean, he sold me by saying, don't eat for 16 hours and then eat whatever you want at dinner for 3 hours straight. I'm like, sold. That's all you need.
Yeah. See, that's what I like, because if you intermittent fast, you do like the 12 to 8. I feel like that's kind of a standard one.
16-8.
No, but I mean, you eat from 12 to 8.
Oh, sorry.
That's what a lot of people do, right? Because it's just the easiest kind of time slot to do. Yeah. I love it. That's what I do now. It's like I'll have a nice lunch, a little kind of late work.
A nice lunch,
Nice lunch, eh?
What's that?
A nice.
Let me tell you quickly. So I've known, obviously, Ricky. I've known him for a very long time. But like naturally when you spend so much time with each other, you observe like what are they called? Like
mannerisms.
Mannerisms. That's it. And I was actually saying this to Becca the other day, and I was like, I asked her, I was like, have you ever noticed Ricky? Everything he does is nice. And it's like
nice life, man.
Nice is underrated, man.
It's fair. Like it's a very like it's not only like a word like everything's the best. It's not like an arrogant word. It's not like a boastful word, but it's just like a subtle descriptive word. So if you're ever making plans with Ricky, like if you're making plans to go have a full day event, whatever, Ricky will call you and say, okay, I got it. We're gonna get up. We're gonna go do a nice walk, like an hour walk. It'll be nice. Then we're gonna go have lunch. Have a nice salad. We'll get a nice workout in, and then we'll hit the bar. It usually drops it by the end, but everything in the plan is nice.
Is that underselling or overselling it?
No, it's always big
undersell, man.
No.
Yo, it's always
nice.
Ricky,
it lives up to expectations always. That's why I'm not critiquing it, but I always notice, and that's why I just pointed it out because I just mentioned it to him like 10 minutes ago, and then he goes, "Yeah,
life is nice.
Nice is underrated, man.
Have a nice lunch.
That's it. Nice. I don't remember what I was saying.
About intermittent fasting.
Oh yeah, intermittent fasting. It's 12 o'clock. You have a nice lunch, then a nice little late work snack, and then a good dinner.
Nice. When do you guys lift? What's your
Right now I'm not.
Or workout? Like, do you get any exercise? Like,
I like a lunch workout. That to me is the best time. Right before a good meal. I changed it up just for you there. Right before like lunch, because again, lunch is my best meal of the day because you don't mind if you overeat a bit because you have the rest of the day to burn it off. You overeat at dinner at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock dinner, you feel like shit the rest of the night. If you overeat at lunch, you just kind of have an espresso, you keep going. So I love a good lunch workout. The only problem is it's tough to get away in the middle of the day from work, or now that the gyms are closing and I have a gym at home, so I can only work out at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. So
nice. I just have a question to go on that more. Do you work out like on an empty stomach before? Like you prefer to like have an empty stomach, work out, then have lunch?
So my current routine is, or before COVID shut down the gyms again, it was wake up, I have my chicken broth first thing in the morning. So first thing I do, then I'll have espresso right after that. Then on my way to work, I'll usually either take like a fat burning pre-workout kind of thing. I don't know what they're called, like a thermogenic, I guess they're called. Yeah. Or I'll have amino acids on my way to work. And I like that because by the time I've got to work, I've had at least 1 liter of liquids. Because my chicken broth is about 500 milliliters, and then my thermogenic whatever, amino acids, another 500 milliliters. So it's like within the hour of being awake, I've had 1 liter of liquids, which I think is like super key. And then make it to my lunchtime workout, which is usually 3-4 hours later, and then have my meal and
your meals
go from there. Yeah.
Do you think eating or drinking chicken broth is more effective than drinking just plain water?
So I used to do water with lemon because I know that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I have no idea. Like even someone asked me that day, what are the health benefits to chicken broth? I was like, look, Elaine.
Tastes good.
No, I don't even really. I don't like the taste. It's just Elaine says it's good.
It's bone broth.
Oh. Yeah.
So if you're cooking,
well, there's two separate ones. There's bone broth and there's chicken broth. Right? Bone broth is like bone marrow that they use, and they boil it, they simmer it, blah blah blah. This was like I just took literally a full chicken.
Yeah, I don't know the full.
Actually, no, I didn't take a literal full chicken. I took 2 packages of.
You're getting vitamins. You're getting nutrients, all
everything.
That stuff. I mean, for me, like to that point too, like I just go water. Like I have I drink like through up to when I go to bed, even first thing in the morning. Just a lot of water in the morning.
Yeah, one of my things now is this year I want to have either chicken broth, bone broth, a vitamin, a smoothie, or like some sort of juice every day.
But and I want to ask you what your like kind of routine is as well. But if you're doing fasting, technically, like you can't have calories, right?
Yeah.
And like coffee doesn't, water doesn't. I don't know what chicken. I'm assuming it's got something.
There's definitely something.
Does coffee? Do you think coffee counts as breaking fast or no?
I don't think it does.
No, from what I gather, again, it's not an expert. I mean,
none of us are.
Oh, we don't have internet, but I think they say like black coffee, as long as there's nothing in it, black coffee has the equivalent of like 5 calories max, if anything.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. I'll have coffee in the morning. That's all I'll drink until about between noon and 2 o'clock most days.
Warm you up on the inside.
Oh yeah,
that's how it goes.
It's fucking terrible at these days.
I want to go
freezing.
We're minus 22 today.
What about you? Like, what's your like routine? Like, when do you kind of get your workouts in and all that stuff? And has it changed since like your playing days and all that?
Dude, so much, bro. Now I don't really have. I'm focused more on nutrition than ever now. But now I don't really lift too much, dude. I don't squat really. I don't do any type of not many weights, man. Okay. I just stick to push-ups, chin-ups. And I met these guys. I was down in Miami to prepare for my pro season this past year. Met these guys called the Foot Doctors, and they train a bunch of NFL, NBA guys, right? So if you train an NBA guy and they like you and they come back to you, that tells me like you're full rounded performance guy. So they taught me a bunch of off the wall type of workouts that have to do with like light med balls and like starting from literally your toe all the way to your elbow and strengthening those chains there. And dude, you wouldn't believe, man, I had so many weak chains that like my body started shaking because it was so weak. And so that's the kind of stuff that I fell in love with, and like I like to do that with my guys, because I train some younger players like 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 26, 27. And that's the one thing I would tell them is like weightlifting's cool. It is really cool. It gets you bigger, stronger. But when it comes to like getting prepared to play the game at the highest level, like you got to do the things leading up to the game that gets you there. And so I can't really weightlift right before a game, right? You're going to crush yourself.
Yeah.
So doing those things, it's actually way harder than you think. Like try hopping on one foot for a minute with a focus on like the bottom outside of your foot and hop on that spot. Dude, it's insanely hard. The simplest things you realize that are actually the hardest things to do. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I like to just play around with fitness and nutrition and stuff like that.
It's kind of like we were saying right before we started recording. We were talking about the non-contact injury that happened to the guy at the Alabama game. Like,
right.
That's a lot. I guess that goes with a lot of that stuff, right? Like a lot of this, when you grow up, this is an assumption. You've obviously played at a much higher level of sports than like we have in general. But like when you're young, you learn about more of like the practical, just like what's the word I'm looking for? Not static movements, but like the typical like functional movement. Like,
there you go.
But less of the practical that apply to everyday movements. Like we were saying, a lot of guys work the up down squats, but you don't do the lateral band walks or the monster walks, like that kind of stuff to work those stability muscles, I guess, if you will, that apply, right? You know, like squatting is great for developing power in your legs, and a lot of for baseball, I guess it comes from a lot of legs and torso. But like driving off your foot, like what motion in the gym like mimics that, right? So I guess, and it's I guess good for the kids that you're teaching it to, because like you don't.
Yeah,
I'm sure you wish you had that when you were at that age.
Yeah,
right?
There's so many times, and one of my favorite examples is yoga. You ever do like warrior pose? And you get in there, like I'm a fit dude. I remember the first time I ever did a yoga class. It was with a girl I was dating back in like 2011 maybe. And I get to do warrior pose. My arms are just getting tired holding them out.
Yeah.
You're like off to the side. I'm like, I'm shaking. How is nobody else shaking? I'm like, I'm a fit dude. Like I bench 225, no big deal. And like couldn't lift my arms for a minute and a half. Like,
yeah.
And something so simple just because you don't do it.
Yeah.
So you start training those odd muscles, and obviously from then you see like Legree classes. Legree got super big, and a lot of
crushed Legree.
I'm terrible at it. Terrible.
Is that
some more fit than Ricky? That's what we established.
True athlete. Is that like what do you call it? What's Legree?
Pilates? Like it's like
Pilates. That's what it is.
It is
machine,
like
right?
Yeah,
it's like that was
reformer.
That's it.
It is arguably the hardest.
It is one of the hottest classes too. You go down King Street.
It is definitely one of the toughest things. But like and again, I'm not the most fit person, but like I prefer doing stuff like that. Like yoga is probably one of the big. I don't do it as frequently, but it's one of the big ones I do. But even like Legree, I love going. It sucks when you're in it. Like it's very, very hard, and everyone in that class makes it look super easy. But stuff like that, like you don't move those muscles every day. You don't realize how weak they are until you actually start working them. And those are the practical muscles that every day that prevent you from, having hip injuries down the road when you're like 50, and just from like the basic stuff that wears down with age. And you don't realize it now while you're young and you're more limber. But those are things that catch up with you. You need knee surgeries, you need hip replacements, whatever it is. Like doing that practical stuff now and getting ahead of it is super important. I don't know what the point of that is, but
yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, I was kind of.
I wanted to. We're gonna kind of rewind a little bit now and transition more to baseball, and obviously it's a big part of why you're here. Played baseball together back in the day, no big deal. We're on the same team. Humble brag.
I heard Ricky got scouted by the MLB
by the yellow team at sponsored by Longos. That's what I put down when I tried out for the team in grade 12. I put the yellow team on the tryout form. Yeah,
dude, you made the squad, man.
I did.
What are you gonna do? I got proof.
Well, we got proof.
You got into one game, right?
Pitched. ERA, infinite.
Were you picked as like a hype guy, like a team guy? That was like me. That was me. On my high school team, I was picked as a team guy. I picked everyone up.
Yeah, I think because of Marcus and Sean, one of our other buddies, I think they just told the coach basically, yeah, just take him. You got one spot left. He's the guy. That's it.
Dude.
I played right field. I was a big just team guy. Made him into a couple games. Threw a guy at a home once. And that was the highlight of my career.
I don't think I
in
ever
high
touched the
school.
ball. Outside of that inning, I kind of pitched. I didn't touch the ball.
No.
And
He still showed up though.
Bro, I showed up every day. Hype man.
What a guy.
On that note, let's get into some baseball. So, for those of you who don't know, Marcus, obviously a fucking sick baseball player growing up. Got drafted twice to the show. What, third round Jays?
Yeah, that was the second
Was that
time.
the second time? First round was Milwaukee?
Yeah, 20-something round.
What was it like
what
being...
year were you first time you got drafted?
08. So senior year, high school, 08.
Straight at you were at St. Mike's. Yeah,
St.
straight at
Mike's,
St.
yeah.
Mike's. Wow.
What was it like?
First time I didn't know I was. I knew I wasn't going to sign. I knew I wanted to go to school.
Ohio, right?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
State, and it was a big school.
Big school.
Big football, basketball school. Baseball they're ranked this year top. I think they're 11th in the nation this year. I got a couple guys. I got one guy that's there now. It's a big school, so I didn't want to give that up. Really, I was kind of wanted to live that lifestyle. You know, I wasn't ready to give it 100% commitment to play baseball yet. You know,
Everyone wanted that. Yeah,
Have a little bit of fun, man.
yeah.
You're 18 years old. Look.
So I knew I wasn't going to sign, but I like to entertain the idea of just getting notoriety and all that. And is everything's okay?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so I played along saying that I'm interested, and a couple days before the draft, I had an advisor that told me, like, if you're not going to sign, you might as well just tell him at the last second, like, send a letter saying no, you're not going to. So I let them all know, and they're all thankful for that. And then I went to school, man, and I just raged, had a great time. Oklahoma State, I didn't play that much. Like, I got two chances to play right when the season started. The coach gave me a sign, a hit and run sign, which means that you got to put the ball in play, and then you got to hit it also on the ground because the runner's running, right? Both times I popped it up to the second baseman. I didn't play again for like 2 months.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are they? I got a question, and I'll ask the follow up after. But they, when you were there, coming from Canada, I know you played like very high level ball up here. But what was like? Was it a matter of just super competitive to every single player? Was it different being a Canadian down there, or was it just purely like you literally everyone gets 2 chances, 3 chances, and if you drop the ball, so to speak, you get a little bit.
Kind of. Like I was kind of like a quieter kid, like kind of an introverted dude. So, I mean, I got charisma, but like those guys we had 7 or 8 guys get drafted that year. So the outfield was already stacked. Everybody in the outfield got drafted, and then the 3 pitchers got drafted. So it was a big time team, right? So I had one chance, and I blew it. Ended up getting 12 at bats the year, and hit 2 home runs. Only 2 hits, 2 for 12. Hit 2 home runs. That's like I love saying that. Oh, I didn't even hit a single all year.
Did you pimp them when they went out, or you just
I pimped one. I had this wide, ugly looking stance. So I got a video that my dad came down and caught one of the home runs on camera. And bro, the ugliest, widest stance you could think of, like no swag at all.
Who had the wide stances? It wasn't wasn't it like a match?
Jeff Bagwell.
Bagwell.
It wasn't like, you guys know Jeff Bagwell. He had like the widest. You couldn't even.
Yeah.
But I ended up transferring out from that big school. I had a great time. I didn't even party with the baseball guys. Like, I ended up partying like with the wrestlers, dude. I made friends with the wrestlers, and those guys were crazy, bro.
Wrestlers, eh?
Yeah. I made friends with the wrestlers, some of the freshman wrestlers, and kind of kept my distance from those guys. Like, I kept baseball, and then the other lifestyle, I ventured off and did my own thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, then I left and I went to the school called Connor State the next year because I didn't play. I was pissed that the coach promised me a starting position, didn't get it. I was pissed, so I left. Went to this tiny school, like 2,500 people in the whole town. Had the best time of my life. Finally learned, kind of smarten up a bit. Learned routine. Went to the cages, which the batting cages every night. Which before, like if I saw somebody hitting in the cage practicing early by themselves, I'd be like, "What is this guy doing? Why is he practicing?" I didn't understand. And then later I was like, "Okay, it's actually fun to practice with your buddies." And like, So I got into a good routine, and like I was just lifting like twice a day, getting just jacked.
Yoked.
I looked the part. You gotta look the part if you're gonna be a pro. Like you gotta look the part first. You gotta catch eyes. So I had that. And when the season hit, I just went on an absolute tear. Ended up the season like hitting a bunch of home runs, and got a bunch of scouts coming. Like hit a home run, and this like my buddies would tell me like the scouts are high fiving each other after you hit the home run. Like crazy.
In this small town of 2,500 too.
Yeah. We had no fans, but so you'd really know when the scouts were there. And so, fun time, man. Like I look back on it, like holy dude, it was good times, man. And like it was the year. You know, you're a baseball guy.
Yeah.
You know, Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
That was his year, 2010. He was in junior college. He's 16.
He played in Vegas, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
University of Southern Nevada, yeah.
The story that when he was playing in Vegas, he hit one like 500 feet or something like, because he was playing catcher back then too.
Dude.
I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he started as a catcher, and I remember hearing a story on SportsCenter that there was the next big guy, and he hit a ball that was they showed the park that he played at, allegedly hit like 500 feet.
No, I remember that video. Yeah.
But you use metal or tin.
No, he used wood.
Use wood,
which is crazy. I use metal. I was using these bats that just I would hit
the
balls
ball
500 feet. 450 easy, and he was doing the same thing with wood. But yeah, that's what they do for guys. Like if you're a big time prospect with a big arm, athletic, they put you as a catcher before you get drafted. It raises your stock.
Yeah, because if you're a good catcher, you know to call a game, all that kind of stuff.
It's more valuable, especially if you can hit. They did the same thing. You know, remember Brett Laurie?
Yep.
Yeah, Brett Laurie. They did right before the draft. We were playing in Dominican. Right before the draft, like we went on like a 10-day Team Canada trip, played all the pro Dominican kids. So they made him a catcher, and then he went off, hit like 10 home runs in 10 days, and then and he got drafted in the first round. But they made him a catcher, and that's what you do to make yourself more valuable.
I didn't know that. I thought these guys grew up playing catcher.
Brett, like most of them do. Most of them do, and that was just kind of like, look what I can do. I can catch if I want. Like, it was just to show me, just to get more attention, and he did. And he crushed it.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of Canadian, maybe this is an assumption, but like just thinking, like there's him, Russell Martin. Who's the guy on the Jays right now? Catcher. Maybe he might be in the farm system still in AAA. Canadian guy, I think.
I
forget
right now with the Jays.
Yeah, it was the P maybe Max Penta.
What's his name?
Anyways,
is he still there?
Possibly, but
Max Pentecost.
That's it. Yeah, is he still with the Jays?
I don't know, man.
But I guess, what I was getting at, it feels like a lot of Canadian guys end up being catchers, or like I don't know, really.
Well, like if you're a good catcher,
guys, but I mean, it feels like
if you stand out if you're a good catcher in Canada, you stand out instantly. If you have a good arm and you can swing it a little bit, then you stand out. So, and those guys usually move on. Yeah, but man, I had a crazy year and ended up got a bunch of attention and yeah, man, I ended up getting drafted in the third round, which is it's where I wanted to get drafted. It was the minimum where I wanted to get drafted in high school. Like that's the only way I would have signed in high school is if I would have gotten drafted in the third round, right? So it's funny that like I don't know, 2 years later, I got drafted exactly where I wanted to go. Makes you think though, like you set a goal, you don't know when it's going to happen. But then you achieve the goal. Mm-hmm. So it made me think I should have set higher goals. So I should have said I want to go number one overall. Yeah. So if I would have known that, then I would have.
It's so funny you say it because sometimes you don't know when something's going to happen. So I don't remember where I saw this, and I might butcher this, and if I do, I'm so sorry. But it's the story about the farmer. So the farmer goes out to his crops one day, and he's got all this corn, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, that's great! You got all this corn. You could sell." And he's like, "Yeah, that's all right, maybe." The next day, there's a big fire. All his corn burns down. Someone's like, "Oh no, that's terrible." And he goes, "Yeah, all right, maybe." Then the next day, the sun comes back for more, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so amazing." He's like, "Yeah, maybe." Well, next day, the son's trying to rebuild this crop. It falls, breaks his leg. Everyone's like, "Oh no, that's terrible." He's like, "Yeah, maybe." Well, the next day, the army comes back, wants to get his son. He's got a broken leg, can't go back to war. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's amazing." He's like, "Maybe." And the moral of the story is that you don't know if something's going to be great or if something's going to be terrible until you're looking back on it. So you might see something and think that's fucking terrible, but in actuality, reality could be something that's good.
Preach.
You know what I mean? It's I kind of maybe butchered that story, but
the premise,
have you heard that one?
I haven't heard it, but the premise is correct, and a lot of it goes. There's I've been reading a lot about like a lot on stoicism and like essentially what it is to like. I mean, to your point, like that's the important thing of anything in life. You can't. That's why you shouldn't be sad, happy. You should like not be indifferent. You should enjoy the highs and the lows.
Enjoy the moment, yeah.
But there's always a lesson to be learned in anything, essentially.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things is like. Maybe I'm reaching a bit here, but it plays on like stoicism, and what I guess the general theme is like you can't. There's certain things you can control, and there's certain things you can control, and all you should worry about and things that you should concern yourself with are things you can control. Because the fact is, you can't. You shouldn't get upset. You shouldn't get emotional. You shouldn't get irrational. You shouldn't be surprised because you should expect that good and bad is going to happen. All you can worry about is the things you can control, and then the things you can't control. That's kind of what you focus on. And even then, you shouldn't be like to your point, you know, it's good. Okay, maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. You don't know
until it happens.
I want to stress that story, but anyways,
looking back now, so you know we're a decade later, give or take.
Well, I want to ask though. Hang on, before on the draft aspect.
I was going to ask something on a similar note.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I was going to say,
I thought you were jumping ahead.
Looking back now, do you wish that you would have told all the scouts that you wanted to play the first time around, or did you, looking back now, do you enjoy what you did and?
No, I don't regret anything, man. No, I everything happened. I look back and I'm like, holy, like part of it, what you guys are saying is you look back and you realize that like, you want to be ultimately grateful at everything that happened. You can't change it, but no, I think everything happened perfect. I mean, I could have set my goal higher. I would tell the next guy like, don't
aim for the first round.
Aim for the first round because if it's anything like my experience, like you're gonna get what you asked for, right? And we always get what we asked for,
right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's
But still, in baseball, though, relatives, like, I mean, obviously everyone wants to go in the first round, but, like, the third round in a baseball draft is still very high. Like,
for those who don't know, there's 30 rounds? 40 rounds?
At that point, there's 40.
How many are there now?
Well, the first year, 2020, there was 5, just because of what happened, the whole thing that happened.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. That's the new rule. That's what we don't talk about.
Yeah. And then last year there was 20. Last year there was 20 rounds, so they kind of increased it. And then this year there might be 40 again. I got to check, but
so you win in the top 10%.
Yeah, I was
of those drafted, which are already in the top 1% of athletes.
So it was a high. I was very proud. I was pumped. Like to me, that was like it was money exactly where I'd like to go.
Yeah,
third round is solid. Like Pompey's brother got drafted in the third round.
Is his brother supposed to be better than he is too? Is that, or am I wrong about that? I think I saw him on.
He's still playing
He's still playing. He's still playing. I think he's going through some struggles like in terms of performance.
Younger or older?
He's younger. He's younger. Yeah. In terms of like performance, he's not like putting up numbers like he should be. But he's super talented.
I talked to Dalton 2 weeks ago when I was down in Florida because he was down there at the same time.
Oh, yeah?
So I was like, what are you
doing? Is he
now?
playing right now?
Where's he at?
Dalton signed with Arizona's...
I thought it was Anaheim.
Anaheim, yeah.
Oh, so he is with them still.
So he signed with them last year, so he got sent to...
Right when he came here. He was flying out like 5 days later.
Yeah. So he ended up playing, I don't know which level, but I know over the Christmas holidays, he was down in Florida visiting his brother because his brother's currently playing in Tampa?
He's with the Marlins. Marlins are in Palm Beach.
So maybe with the Palm Beach then, yeah. That makes sense. He's on that side of Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
So, good for him. But even you got drafted to the Jays. Like, that's only Canadian team. You're Canadian.
Was that, I mean, your favorite team, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, getting drafted.
I was always a diehard Jay fan. I liked the Red Sox that one year. Pedro Martinez, Manny Ramirez. Big time players. Big Poppy.
Yeah.
And they
but
finally
the Jays,
they beat that curse. What's the curse? The goat thing? Or
no, that was that's Chicago. The Boston Red Sox was like Carl Yastrzemski went through his legs, or who the hell was it? The guy
Bill Buckner.
No, Bill Buckner.
Yeah.
Why is it Carl Yastrzemski? Yeah, Bill Buckner through his legs.
And then they finally forgave him after how many years? 30 years. And
that guy
cried in front of the crowd. Oh man,
it's
so
crazy,
emotional, bro.
It was him there, and it was the guy in Chicago, the fan
that caught the ball.
Yeah,
oh, yeah. He was wearing the
headphones. I forget his name. Couldn't go back, and then after they won, I think they did the same thing with him. They sent him they wanted him to come to the stadium. He couldn't go down. Whatever. It's just a sad story.
So unfair,
because the guy couldn't hear. Like he was listening on. You hear the story? You know it.
There's a documentary. No.
Yeah, 30 for 30. He basically his side of the story, and I think this is what it was. Because when you listen to it, like a lot of guys listen, like real traditionalists listen to the game to hear the telecast or whatever it is. He heard the ball was, I guess, popped up, but he didn't realize it was going to be in play. They just said foul or something. So there was a delay between what he was hearing and what he was seeing. So like it was like saying like, oh, it's kind of I think going foul, and he ended up like reaching out for it, and
that's a tough one.
Cost him the game. He didn't know they were tracking it. Whatever. You know what's crazy about? Not crazy, but it's kind of cool. You know who broke both curses? Same team president was Theo? Not Billy Bean. Theo Epstein. Theo Epstein was in Boston. He was like the youngest GM in the league at that time. Yeah. Broke the curse in Boston. Then went to go play with Chicago. Developed that team with like Rizzo and Baez and Bryant. All these guys. Broke the curse there. Crazy. Imagine how good you have to be and how he will be. That guy will never pay for a single thing in any of those cities or either of those cities.
Dude. But he's got the money too, though.
Yeah. I think actually you got to have some BD to go play, like to go to like 2 cities with curses and break the curses.
Just winning 2 championships on 2 different teams is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So the year when you got drafted 3rd round, what year was that?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Who would have got drafted? So who was in the draft class to the Jays that year with you?
It was Syndergaard, Sanchez.
Oh, Jesus. Aaron Nicolino.
Nicolino. Yeah. So those 3 were always hanging out
That
together.
was the Lansing 3, I remember back in the day.
Yeah. Then they all got sent. Yeah, they were in when I was in Lansing, they were a year younger, and then they all came up to help us win the playoffs.
Yeah.
We ended up losing in the finals. But yeah, Sanchez, me and him went way back. We went to Los Angeles Angels pre-draft workout, whatever, together for the first time. Then we ran into each other again at the Blue Jays pre-draft workout. We're like, yo, wait, what's up, man? And then we both got drafted by the Jays. It was pretty cool, man. But I separated my shoulder like a month before the draft, like trying to save a no-hitter from one of my teammates. Dove, hit the wall, separated my shoulder a month before the draft, dude.
On your throwing
like,
arm.
On my throwing arm. I threw the ball in, and I was like, yo, no, that's not going to work.
Yo, no.
Yeah, I was like,
about that.
Yeah, so, dude, I had to go to the pre-draft, all these pre-draft workouts. I couldn't run. So pre-draft workouts about hitting the ball far as you can, running as fast as you can, and then just looking like a ball player. I couldn't run or throw. So literally I show up and just hit.
At least you're jacked at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm so jacked, dude. So like, yeah, and the Blue Jays, everybody, I remember all the guys that got drafted to the Jays told me this afterwards when we were all friends. They're like, yo, when you walked in that pre-draft workout, I walked in like 20 minutes late for some reason. So everyone's stretching. I walk in. Everyone thinks I'm like a big leaguer. I don't run or throw. They're like, who is this guy? All I do is hit, and I'm just dropping absolute bombs, dude. Absolute bombs. It's like there's nobody in the stands. So I hit him, moonshots, lands in the second deck. All you hear is, goom. Hit another one. Goom. Everyone's looking at me like, I get another chance to hit. I got a special chance to hit again. And Cito Gaston, Cito Gaston.
Legend.
Yeah, he shook my hand like his big scaly fingers. He got fingers like the size of like cucumbers, bro.
He got the first. That guy's a legend. Brought the first championship to the Jays, man.
Yeah, legend. Yeah, so he shook my hand, and then he gave me another shot to hit BP, and I just dropped more bombs, and I'm like, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm at. There's no way I could not have been drafted by the Jays. There's no way. I did too well. And I just did. All I did was hit. It's hilarious, man.
That's honestly amazing. Good for you. Were you nervous when you separated your shoulder? Were you thinking like, fuck, I'm gonna like my stock's gonna drop, or were you still going in like riding confident? Like,
I think it did. I did drop my stock, man. I think it did. Looking back on it, health is wealth, dude. They see you're hurt, and then they start to doubt, right?
So it could be something that nags and lingers and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
and it never did at all. I took care of it because I rehabbed it when I was with the Jays, but I was scared, man. I went to 5 pre-draft workouts, and me and my dad pretty much took a road trip around the states, going to each place, and we ended up getting into some heated fights just out of frustration of what was happening. Like it didn't look good. I'd show up and be like, no, I can't throw. What about run? No, I couldn't run because I couldn't move my arm, right? And then I was strapped up. My arm was strapped up in a sling, and I was swinging.
So you could still swing the bat and still put him out with the.
The only way it hurt is if I missed. Then I'd hurt.
Because when you whiff, you're yanking.
Excruciating pain. But when I struck one, like nothing.
So you were laser focused on putting those yams out there. Hey?
Yeah. You're like, I'm not missing. If it's not down the middle, I'm not swinging.
Too much pain, man. But yeah, it all healed up. But yeah, I think it might have affected something. But you can't.
Still, it's
health is wealth, man. I'll preach that all the time. Yeah. Anytime someone gets hurt, you're gonna start to doubt them.
Yeah. So you said those guys you only got drafted with. What was it like coming up? Because that was a year that they went heavy. A lot of pitching that year, I guess, right? They did, guys.
Yeah.
And it would have been you. Is there anyone else came after you?
Well, I think they had 11 picks or 9 picks in the first 3 rounds, which was huge for me because I'm looking at all the teams that have all the big picks in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
And those are like the Angels had a lot of picks in the first 3 rounds, but they picked Mike Trout the year before, so they're not hot on outfielders.
Yeah.
No one knew how good he was going to be, but
because he also played in New Jersey growing up, and he didn't play like most guys play down south. They get like all year round ball basically, and he played in New Jersey, and he used to. So New Jersey's like Toronto, you can't play all year, and knowing that he was still a first round pick, but he was like late mid first.
Yeah, late to mid,
or
mid to late. Yeah, so 9 picks. So I just knew I'd like to be drafted by them. I told the Marlins, if you draft me in the first round, I'll take $1 million. I said thanks, bud. Didn't go.
Miami would be a good city to play in and get that money.
Yeah, it'd be nice. They're the worst team. They're the worst team at the time. So
they still are pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're all right. They got a lot of young guys, but they don't do much when it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice park, but man, they get like I don't know, a couple thousand a game.
Yeah,
that's it.
You know?
It's bad. Yeah, but Jeter owns the team now, so
wasn't Tampa really bad too? And like they made a run all the way.
I went this year. They won. They went to the World Series last year. DB and I were on a road trip recently for our startup a couple months ago, and we were driving through Tampa, and the Jays were actually playing, and we buy tickets like $30 or something. We could have got even. We could have got $1 ticket. We got $30 against the Jays dugout, visitors dugout, like right against the fence there, and empty. Like, and I say empty, maybe 4,000 people.
Crazy.
And they went to the World Series the year before, and they were the best. They're still to this year, or they were. I guess over now. They were the best team in the LCS, the AL this year. Yeah. No one, and like you're in Florida, like
it's nice
baseball's
out there.
Like
You'd think
it makes
so.
absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's crazy. And you have a team like the Jays that they pack. I mean, when they're good, they pack the Rogers Center. Man. They pack it. I remember, like, not to jump too far ahead, but like 2015, 16, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That run.
My boy Anthopoulos his last couple of years won the World Series too. Shout out to the Greeks. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe we let him walk Shapiro and Atkins. They do not right now though, but that was the year. I still remember where I was when the first trade. I can't remember if it was Tulo or Price traded first. I think it was Price was the first trade. Can't remember, but I remember I was in like Germany with my buddy Mike.
You're in Germany?
No, I'm Greek.
Oh,
but I was in Germany.
I know you're Greek. Greek power.
I was in Germany, like on European vacation. Like the trade happened. I was somewhere in Europe, and I remember we were watching Price's first start, and then just the Jays went on a fucking.
You were watching the game in Germany?
I was on my phone in line to go to going into a club or a bar, and I was streaming on my phone. Dad, I didn't care. We're watching Price's first start of the Jay. I was like, we're winning the World Series this year.
All the hype around that was crazy. Those couple of years there.
I'll be back.
I saw Donaldson the other day. Not the other day. Like maybe a month.
He's in Toronto though. I think.
Yeah, because I think his either wife or girlfriend, his partner. Yeah. I think she's from Toronto.
Yeah.
From Newmarket.
Oh, really?
Thanks, that was good.
Cool.
Yeah, because she's got.
Didn't even let the fact check that one. Danielle is a human fact
check. He goes to the Leaf games a whole bunch.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw a video of him there.
Yeah, I've seen him twice there. That's just when I was sitting in the cabin, was sitting in the same area. It's pretty crazy.
Did you ever cross paths with him at all? Like
No, he was when I went. Yeah, my last year with the Jays, he got picked up by the Jays. So I went to the Twins, and then he got signed by the Jays.
Did you go? Wait, was he? No, because he went to the Twins after.
No, I think he was with the Athletics.
A's before. Yeah.
No,
so that was
the Twins.
2014, 13, 14?
Well, his first year with the Jays was 2015. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was the he traded in the offseason, I think.
Yeah, so I got let go in spring training by the Jays. I was like, well, where's my life going now? And a week later got signed by the Twins. Okay, let's go. right? Let's go new blood, right?
Yeah.
New,
Minnesota, let's go.
Yeah, so I drove.
Well, I guess not Minnesota.
Yeah, so I drove across the state 3 hours, and there I was at a new team, brand new team, brand new organization.
Oh,
And
you were
wild.
was it during spring training down in you're in Florida then?
Yeah, exactly. So
Got
I
it.
joined the Twins the last couple of days of spring training, and yeah, I was trying to put together all of Donaldson's everything that he does. I was trying to copy him. Just epic fail. I had to go back to whatever I was doing before.
But what's it like being down at spring training when you've got, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred people? How many people are down at spring training? Because for your team, like there's
In the system?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's got to be a couple hundred.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got to fill. Now it's a little different because I think they cut 1,200 players. They cut a bunch of teams because of there's time to shorten up. There's so many levels.
Yeah. Well, there's what,
But,
4
I think it was
levels,
like
5
100
levels? How many levels are there in baseball?
High, low A,
Up to
high A,
6.
double A, triple A,
rookie
summer ball,
ball.
Dominican.
So they got like
Rookie ball.
30 guys each team, 25, 30. So they got like 150. And then they got more guys after spring training. They got more guys coming in for extended spring training, which is like, if you go to extended spring training, good luck, man. Because you got to wake up. You got to do the same thing every day for 5 months. Pretty
So
much.
you basically you're just doing spring training continues. Is that like a development thing? Like it's like
It's when they don't have a spot for you on any full season team.
you guys stay ready though.
Yeah, so they say here you're invited to extended spring training, and then that happens right after spring training ends. So then all these other guys file in, and then they compete for the short season teams. So there's a couple short season teams that there's a lot of levels, man. A lot of levels, about 150, 200 guys all fighting for a spot, all trying to like impress the coaches and get to the batting cages at like 6 a.m. and swing. And there's a bunch of.
Are you guys like buddies, or are you guys all just like kind of nipping at each other's heels there?
Dude, it's kind of wild, man. Like if I was in a good spot the first couple of years because I was a high round pick, so they put money into me, so I knew I wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't until a couple of years later when I was like, okay, so this year might be the year where they just got me out. So I started getting these feelings of like these fears, right? But dude, on the team, everybody gets along. Well, I mean, everybody comes from a different place, right? In the States, Dominican, all that. So usually the biggest fight is over the music in the clubhouse.
Really?
That's what everyone complains about. The music is that you have to make everybody happy. So a couple of years there, I took the reins as like the music guy. Just to make
Yeah,
everyone
what'd you put
happy.
on?
I put on everything, bro. I mean, I
That's
stuck
when
to
like
G's
iPod
and-
shuffles were still a thing. Phones didn't play music yet.
No, the iPhone came out in 2008.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, so I remember when I was at university, so in 2012.
But when we graduated, we had iPhones that played music.
No, I was still BlackBerry Bold.
Not when you graduated.
I was BlackBerry Bold until 2014.
Okay, I don't know.
Sorry,
We were black. Our year of university, like Western, was like BBM back in the day.
Oh
like,
yeah, huge.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
like, and you could buy the different color cases too. I remember I had a white BlackBerry Bold. Oh, that was cool. I was cool.
Nice.
I was gonna ask who was the guy you got along with best through coming up at any point after, whether it was like basically from when you got drafted to the Jays, from then on, even if it was Minnesota, anywhere. Was there any guy that like you didn't know at all going in that you really vibed with? Good guy.
Dude, I vibe with so many guys, man. I'm like, dude, I'm the guy that's like, I'm easy with everybody. So there's so many guys. I met so many guys down there that I wish I could talk to them all like right now. But everybody has their own life afterwards and things like that. But I mean, I really like Kevin Pillar. I always liked the way he played and everything. And a bunch of guys you'd never know, right? Mostly, I mean, only how many percent make to the show? Like
Very few, yeah.
5%, if that.
I was reading a stat today. This about the NHL is a little different. Out of all the kids that play minor hockey in Ontario, only 0.11 will get drafted to the NHL. So out of that 0.11% that get drafted to the NHL,
0.1.
0.11.
Yeah, but still
Yeah, so let's call it 0.1. Then.
point up. Okay, I know what you mean. I got you.
0.11%. So 0.1, whatever. 0.1 of that. Of those people, only like half of them will actually play an NHL game, and only a quarter of them will play more than 400 games in the NHL. So it's 0.015% of minor league hockey players will play more than 400
That's
games in the NHL.
insane.
Yeah, the
400 is a lot. That's 5 seasons.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
But you think
that's like the coveted mark for NHL, right? It's 400. I don't know what it is for the MLB, but
it's like that, man.
you got to. But there's way more
there's
baseball
more-
players than
yeah,
way
yeah.
Way more.
In the world,
Even in North America.
In North America, sorry.
Even in North America. Never mind South America or Central America.
You know how you increase your odds? Yeah, you increase your kids' odds of having them make the show. Have them born in the first quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's typically in.
What book is that?
It's in a book. It's in. I think it's Outliers.
That's one of the most like stats that have stuck in my mind.
Yeah, it's
over
like
the
one of.
years.
I think it's Malcolm Gladwell, like Outliers or David versus Goliath, or one of his books. I think, and I think there was a study done years ago.
I thought you were going to say have money.
Yeah,
No,
steroids. I thought you were going to say steroids.
Because I would
Uh-oh.
disagree. Because hockey is expensive, but I think if you look at like in every sport, there's probably a fairly equal distribution between like people who had money who became successful because of the tools, and people who come from absolutely nothing who are successful. Because you got to remember too, like there's good and bad because of both. Having money gives you best access to the best coaches, the best trainers, the best equipment, but you lose a lot of drive. Not everybody. Some people just love it, but some whatever. Yeah. When you have nothing, you have drive and hunger to outplay everybody.
That's it.
Everyone. Yeah. There's drive in everybody, but I think
I bet you it's different. Each sport is different. I bet you if you look at, I don't know, maybe this could be wrong, and I don't know, but maybe I feel like basketball. You feel like people coming from like the streets of New York, the streets of California, that end up making it. Then you have like, again, the prep school. I feel like if you look at hockey, again, hockey is just more of an expensive sport.
Yeah, for sure. And you like one of the biggest things too is how many people in the world, like how many pro athletes' kids make professional sports.
I would say a very small number.
I would say like that number point, like 1%.
I would think it's very small.
Probably because even that, like I was actually listening to a podcast on the way over here, and it was talking about it was PTI, and you know how at the end of PTI they do like the happy anniversaries, all that. To Don Bosa, I think, who was played football, was drafted in the first round, played football, I guess I want to say Chicago or somebody. That's Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa's dad. They are the second family in NFL history to have 3 people in the family go in the first round. Do you know who the other family is to have 3 people go in the first round?
Manning.
Yeah.
I knew that one.
So, but you know what's crazy?
The Mannings.
You know what's crazy?
Archie Manning, Peyton, and Eli.
Archie went second. I don't know if it's for sure. Archie Manning, I think, went second overall, and Eli and Peyton went both first overall. And their grandson now, the Peyton, Eli's son, one of their sons.
I thought it was the third.
Sorry, the third brother's son,
yeah.
Arch Manning, is
like a stud.
Might go. There's a chance he could be a stud.
I heard he's a stud.
They'd have 4 people in the first round if he gets drafted.
Well, they're saying they're saying that'll be. I think it's the first. It'll be the first like actual Hall of Fame. Not Hall of Fame. They used a different word, but it's like a first like NFL caliber generation. Because you need 3 for like a generation.
Yes,
in
yeah, I know what you
2
mean.
is like a family or whatever. 3 is a generation. Something like
generational. 4. Yeah.
Something we're on the same page.
But you know
generational talent.
Yeah. Anyways, we got a little sidetrack, but yeah, it's and I don't know if that study like if you're born at the beginning of the year, but I think it's because obviously you're bigger at the beginning of the year, and when you're
bigger.
Same as probably academics too. Like you're intellectual level, you develop.
So?
You have more time. You
grow more, and then you make the teams.
When you're 16 getting drafted, someone was born in January versus someone was born in December. That's a big difference. That's why a lot of professional athletes who are born in December, or a lot of people who are born in late December, get held the following year.
Yeah,
stay back.
Well, the better you are, the more you play too. Right, the more people want you on their team, and then the more shifts you get that you're playing hockey.
And when you're younger, think about growing up. Like, hockey is the best example. A 13 or 14-year-old, which is like prime development ages. A 13-year-old who's born in January, you're more likely, actually, that's fact, you will be bigger if you were born January than if you were born the later that year. Because you just have a full year to grow.
Yeah. Fun fact, me and Ricky also play on the same hockey team.
North York Knights, baby.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Bang.
And Peyton Barber, Pavel Barber, who's like super big.
Barber.
Yeah, super big on like social media. He's like stick handling guy. He was on that team too.
Oh, the guy who did the treadmill thingy.
Yeah. He's on a lot of things.
Did he go to St. Mike's?
No, but he played on our hockey team, North York Knights.
Yeah. That's the guy that does the round whatever. That
he does like
floorball. He does like some
floorball. He played on Team Canada floorball actually.
Yeah,
I think
What's floorball.
It's kind of like hockey, but like in a gymnasium with not on ice and like a weird looking stick.
Yeah, he picks up the ball and like
so it's like a stick that has like almost like a hockey stick with a lacrosse net at the end.
There's a Team Canada for that?
Yeah, there's Team Canada for everything.
bud.
Like not an Olympic Team Canada.
I think floorball might... No, it's not an Olympic sport. But like floorball's a big thing. And not
Sorry,
in Canada,
I
but
know
in
it's Florida, but I don't mean to laugh at that. But that's like, what a, like. Oh, that's
like even their penalty shots are crazy. They just stand there, stick handling, and they just throw it.
Check it out.
Watch some highlights. We'll watch them after. Yeah, that's why me and Marcus became boys.
Who was the better hockey player?
I'm a goalie. He's a player. It's completely different.
Okay, if you had to rate them, level. If you had
probably similar.
If you had NHL ratings on NHL, NHL 2020 whatever. What would you guys be rated? Rate yourselves.
I was fast.
Marcus was good. Marcus was big too, man. He was a tough dude.
I guess I love hitting people, bro.
Actually, we both came down from AAA.
Yeah.
Weren't you Mississauga?
I was Markham.
You were Markham.
Waxers.
No, it was
the Markham Islanders.
Islanders, and then the what's the majors, right?
Yeah,
they turned to the majors. So I was AAA. Yeah, and then who'd you play for?
Because I was Nats and Marlies.
Nats and Marlies.
Yeah, because me and Marcus both came down together same year.
Yeah.
And we went to North York Knights. They were the best team in AA.
Yeah.
And we both went there.
Crush
And then we
it.
lost back.
Wait. What year did you go down to AA?
It would have been in our minor midget year.
First year, St. Mike's, so grade 9.
Oh, first year.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, so we were minor.
Where did you play in
Bantam.
grade? Where did you play in grade 12? Did you play hockey in grade 12?
No, that was my last year. That was my
Yeah,
last
'cause
year.
you were playing baseball.
Yeah. What was Von Panther's level?
AA.
Did you play against the Huskies?
Yep.
Because they went to the finals, right?
Nope.
No.
Not my year. They didn't.
In grade 12.
No, because I know the backup goalie on my team the year before.
Do you remember? Because you remember, like,
Mike
do you remember
Rostecki.
Dom Cerrone? Mike Rostecki played for them.
Yeah.
Mike. So
They did go to
that
the
whole
finals.
team went to my high school. They
They
played.
did not go to the
They didn't go to the finals.
I don't think so.
But they were like. So I
we beat
remember.
them.
I remember because Dave Perello and Dom Cerrone both played AAA. Dom was on Vaughn. Dave played the Young Nats.
No, yeah, and then Dave went to Vaughn too. That's how they became friends.
Yeah, and then
You remember Perello?
Yeah.
They're still good boys with them, yeah.
Nice.
And then Travis Schoenmakers played AA on the Huskies with Rostecki. They all played on our high school team. I was the team manager. No big deal. Mean tape job on a stick, but couldn't shoot for my life. I opened the back door.
Yeah, I think we beat.
But they played all together, and I can always remember them coming to school talking about how they were like making this super team, this power team, whatever.
I feel like every kid that came from AAA thought
Yeah,
they were
down.
making a super team in
You
AA.
see it with your buddies,
And
right?
they
Like,
did
you
not.
play with your buddies
Yeah, that's
and
what
you-
we did, right? Like even St. Mike's, we were a whole bunch of Vaughn kids that came together and we just made our own team. And we thought we were going to kill it because we had all these AAA guys that came down. Like, I don't know if you remember Tomei, but like remember DeMonte?
DeMonte.
Yeah, we had DeMonte, Tomei.
Who was the
Shea, Morrison.
Who was the best guy at St. Mike's hockey when you guys played? Best player.
Eli used to be really good.
He went down to play in the States.
Yeah, he played down in the States at...
I know where it is. It's in upstate New York.
Was Sagan at St. Mike's?
Yeah, but he was younger than us because
He was
he's a
younger.
93.
Sagan
Oh,
played at
he's
St.
too-
Mike's?
Sagan was the St. Mike's boy. Because I remember when he got drafted to Plymouth, his locker was right beside mine. Like, I don't know if maybe his girlfriend or someone like decorated or something. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, all boys school. Yeah, but girls could still come into the school. Like,
Oh, I didn't know he went to St. Mike's.
yeah, Sagan's the St. Mike's boy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? You grew up in like Markham, Toronto?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who else did we have that was really good our year? Sam Johnson.
Nah, I
was good,
think,
wasn't
yeah.
he? Hoyle was really good.
The Rubinos were
Hoyle was a
nasty.
goalie.
Hoyle was really good, but he didn't play in St. Mike's hockey, I don't think.
No. Who, Mike did, didn't he?
No, but Hoyle didn't.
Oh, Hoyle.
I don't
No,
think he did
so.
because he ended up going to play elsewhere.
Did you go to Harvard or something?
Yeah, but I think
Yeah, he
he
did.
Ross there or
Good
something.
guy.
He got married recently.
He
Yeah.
did?
Crazy
He's in
looking.
Miami,
I was
yeah.
just wondering that because I don't know how I remember this. I remember seeing this on Instagram and it always stuck with me because he proposed in like I think they got engaged in Morocco or something because I remember my sister I think did. I don't know how I remember, but they were going to get married or something. And it was like before the pandemic. And I was actually wondering the other day. I was like, did Hoyle get married? Because I don't have social media, so I guess he got married.
Hoyle got married. 100% got married. 'Cause I remember he was wearing this like white jacket.
Like recently,
Very Hoyle-esque.
He got married recently.
That's within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Huh.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Back to you.
hockey. Back to baseball.
Back to baseball.
Where do we leave off? We got sidetracked with like hockey players and growth and games played.
Yeah.
I don't know where we were at. Anyways, you got drafted to the show.
Oh,
You're
I
in
was-
spring league.
Who? I asked you if anybody you got along with the vibe with. Anybody you didn't like, or anybody you thought was like too much of a try hard, or just a.
I'll probably
Try
so many
hard.
people.
Anybody
I
like-
respected the tryhards, man. There's so many people that would talk smack about the guys who like put the work in. But no, I never really talk smack like that, bro. I kind of just try to keep to myself, be friends with everybody. Maybe a little bit too friendly, bro. You gotta be laser focused, man. You can't be really too
Mark's like,
too
yo,
worried
pass
about
me
making
the
friends.
boombox over here.
Yeah,
Got to change that song.
yeah. But I always like making friends, right? Like I want to have a good solid group of dudes. But in that situation, those situations where you're climbing a ladder with everybody else, like if I were to look back, I said, you'll make friends when you perform, man. To be a good teammate, but there's no really making friends, bro. Because you'll make friends naturally by being who you are, right?
Yeah.
So, dog eat dog world, bro. I remember when I was like the back half of my career.
Pull a little bit closer.
A little bit closer.
Yeah, right there,
I'm pulling it with my foot here.
All right, good. We're gonna put it
Back-
over.
Yeah, I got you.
There we go.
Thanks, bro.
I got you.
All right.
I got pee.
All right, beauty.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, the last couple years where I was like, man, my performance was dropping drastically. Like, I got drafted as a power hitter, and 5 years into my career, I wasn't hitting any home runs. So it's like, okay, what am I good for now? So I had to go through all this stuff in my head. I got some injuries. I got hurt lifting. Lifting my lower back was like twisted, and it was the power source. That's kind of like the power source of your, so everything connects, right where the hips meet the spine. That was a little bit off, and I never really got after it. I never really healed it, right? So you got to heal yourself. You always got to heal yourself. You heal yourself, right? So where was I going with that? Power numbers dropped, performance dropped, and I started going. When somebody else is doing well, like Pompey I played with Pompey in 2013, and he just absolutely went off. And we're both
where
outfielders.
were you guys playing?
We're in Dunedin.
Okay, that's
That's A-ball, right?
A-ball,
and
yeah.
Pompey was just lights out, bro. Like every day he showed up, hits, and I'm like, okay, well, this got to stop sometime. I'm starting to get insecure that like, what about me when he's doing well? So like. Watching everybody succeed when you're not succeeding, it's if you're not in the right mindset, like if you don't understand, if you take it personally, then you can kind of get into just an unhealthy mind frame, man. I look back on it and I think I've changed a lot now. Like I've changed in my perspective on life and my perspective on people and why we're here. It's all completely changed. I feel like when I was playing ball, I was just some kid that like didn't know what to do. I just kept playing ball because I was good. We're talking about Pompey. We played together in 2013, and he absolutely went off. He went from high A to double A to triple A to the big leagues in 1 year. That doesn't happen.
That's unheard of.
It was unbelievable.
Very few guys do
But
that.
I was saying, like, I wasn't in a good mindset, man. I was like going out all the time. I was trying to I wasn't focused on what I needed to be focused on. And like when he was doing really well, like he doesn't know this now. If he listens, he'll know. But like you get these feelings of kind of like kind of jealousy a little bit, and when I was doing really well, I could see other players look at me the same way. So it's like, it's a tough environment, man. And you really got to just kind of know what's up. You can't be doing that.
How big of the mental aspect was it? Like, especially because in 2010, mental health and kind of the mental aspect of sports wasn't as talked about as it is today. Today, like every team has their own like psychotherapist and, I don't know, whatever the other words are for
psychiatrist.
Everybody has I think every organization
for sure that's like a therapist, but whatever, they all have it. Back in the day, I don't think many teams. It wasn't that big of a.
They all employed somebody that was there if you really needed them for off the field issues or on field. They promoted it. They're resources, but I never once called them and been like I'm struggling. Like, so. Doing that, actually calling somebody helps because you're admitting it. You're like accepting your problems in a sense, and you're vocalizing it, right? But nobody ever really did it, and but now every organization has a what do you call it?
Whatever, a psychotherapist or
a sports
sports psychologist.
Psychologist,
sports psychologist.
But like, I mean, how effective is it to sit in an office and talk about your feelings when you still got to go out and perform?
We're talking about how you're struggling.
We're not talking about it. Doesn't directly. It's not obvious how it directly impacts your performance. But we were talking about, like you said, 0.01 or 0.11 guys.
0.11
end up making it to the top, right? And of that, and it goes. Most of those guys, when you hit pro ball, all have the same skill sets. So the mental side to me, that's all I really want to talk about when it comes to baseball. Physically, I put in at 10,000 hours focusing on my technique and my swing, and there's not one company that I've been involved with since pro ball that has asked me, what my swing was. It doesn't translate to the real world when you focus on your technique and how the swing looks and all that stuff. So what translates from sport to real life is that part of the game. So we have to focus on that part of the game because that's what translates, right?
And that's what's next, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that's what separates most guys who end up going on? Like, I'm sure there's probably guys in the show that maybe aren't the quietest, like most peace of mind. They're probably as neurotic and as in their head as anybody else. But do you think that's the kind of differentiator? Is people who, because if you get drafted, you naturally have skill at some point that is similar to other guys.
Yeah.
Do you think the mental aspect's what helps guys get over, or is it still no matter what? Is it the physical aspect that will always trump it? Do you need to have both?
Well, it depends on how extreme your physical skills are. Like a guy like Giancarlo Stanton, who's 6'6", 250, he can get to the major leagues without a mental approach because he's just so dominatingly strong. But a guy like me, I got to Double-A and barely got to Double-A. I used to be very critical of my career because I expected so much, so I got to Double-A, and that was where my talent took me. So my talent took me to Double-A, and what I needed after that was that next level. Some guys, that level is AAA. Some guys can play 5 years in the big leagues because their talent level is so extreme. But then, eventually, if you want to take the next step, it needs to be focused on that.
And I get that because, again, I don't know too much about baseball, but I related to hockey, and you hear about Sidney Crosby. So obviously he had the God-given talent to play hockey, but everyone says that his mental strength, mental fortitude, his kind of hockey IQ, and everything he did outside of his physical limitations is what made him such a great player. His discipline, his work ethic, all those other things that you can't really teach. And he's arguably one of the greatest hockey players of all time.
Yeah.
So
did you say there's one podcast that you said previously? You said something about scaling. You said do what doesn't scale. I listen to a couple, man. I listen to a couple, yeah. Do what doesn't scale. When you said that, dude.
Do things that don't scale.
Do things that don't scale. Bro, that's the way to scale is by doing things that don't scale.
Yeah.
That was money, bro.
Yeah.
Because focus doesn't scale. Focusing on one person at a time doesn't scale. But that's what the only thing that scales in businesses nowadays are everyone thinks it's technology, right? But before that, it was what scales is doing the things that don't scale.
Yeah.
And in baseball, that's the focus aspect. I don't know. You forget the simplest things, and you need to actually take steps. The better you get, the more simple you have to be, the more childish you have to become, and you define that love for the game like you're a kid. That's what the best guys are doing. They're playing like they're a kid. And when you get older, you attach.
Yeah, well, and you see it and you hear it, the Jays run. The city was a vibe. The team was just having fun, and that was all. Everyone kept talking about, they're in a groove. They're finding themselves. Their rhythm. They're having fun. And you go to the games, you watch. It's they're grown men having fun, doing what they were put on this earth to do, and it showed. Yeah. And then they did that big run.
I don't know if it's true. It's an assumption, but I think one of the most important things, again, it might be an assumption. I don't know if it applies for everybody, but at least I find, doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm playing, if I'm out in the golf course playing golf when I was a kid playing baseball, whatever I was doing, even today with business, it's weird. This is my approach. It doesn't always work, and it's not always easy to stay this way, but I think you have to look at it you cannot take yourself too seriously in anything, right? The stakes get very high if you get, signed, whether you get drafted or signed to a massive contract and have to live up to expectations. But I think that's the hard part is if you put too much pressure on yourself to be this person or uphold this thing, or everyone looks at me like this, so I need to be this, or I got drafted because I'm a power hitter, I got to be a power hitter. When you take yourself and put all this pressure on yourself to do those things, I'm sure some people thrive, but at least in my experience, I find that it's easier to get consumed by it because as soon as you start to lose that and you start to get a bit of a rough patch, you start to say, shit, like I'm not that thing anymore. I got to get back to that thing. And you try to force it. You try to tweak, you try new things. But at the end of the day, if you stick to the basics and the fundamentals, don't overcomplicate things, keep it simple, and like just do it for the love of it, or do it to have fun, and just like think about it in that aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's an easier way to look at it, an easier way to keep your mind calm. Because you put these monstrous expectations on yourself and look at yourself a certain way, and again, take yourself way too seriously. It's easy to get into the weeds and get lost very, very, very fast. I think that applies to everything in life. You can't, like, you know, in business, it's the same goes. Like, if you're investing in the stock market, you put $1 in or $1 million. At the end of the day, everything is the same. The stakes might be higher for you relatively, but the market's not going to change because you put $1 million in. Your philosophy shouldn't change because it's $1 million. If you believe something with $1, like if you have conviction in anything, it shouldn't matter how much you're gambling or risking. You should approach it the same way. And I think when the stakes get higher, people don't look at it the same way. They deviate and they look at it like, oh, I can lose more. But when you think that way, you panic. You start to like. Anyways, I can go on with analogies forever, but yeah, I think it's just the important thing is like, and you notice it as you get older. I got to high sports, but everything in life, you realize that like you shouldn't panic in times of crisis. You shouldn't change your thinking because something's going wrong. Like, you know, like you said, learning, you should always learn and always go back to fundamentals. You never know everything, but you should like, don't always doubt yourself and don't take yourself too seriously. I'll kind of wrap it there because I'm going in a bit of a circle.
No, but you're right. If you're enjoying something,
Thank you.
If you're enjoying what you're doing, you're just more likely to be successful at that. You know, it's like anything you do in life. If you're not enjoying it, you're not going into it with the right mental state. You're not going to try as hard because you're not enjoying what you're doing. Even if you think subconsciously that you're trying, even if you think that you're trying subconsciously, if you don't want to be there, you're not trying the hardest because you're not mentally fully there and putting in 100% of the effort. If you're enjoying what you do and you're having fun, you're going to just naturally perform better majority of the times. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because you're like, again, you're there to have for the love of something.
Like, let me ask you, did your love for the game change over your, let's say, 10-year kind of pro career? How long was your pro career?
Parts of 9 years.
Okay, parts of 9. So did your love for the game change and love of what you were doing change?
Certainly, man. Big time, man. I think when I went down a level, I played 6 years like in the MLB ranked leagues, and then went down to an independent league. And when I went down to the independent league, the stakes felt lower, and automatically my joy increased. I had more fun, everything. So because in my mind the stakes were lower, I guess, you know, I really didn't like baseball for a couple of years because I wasn't doing too well, and I took it very, very personally because I never did anything else. You know, I had never diversified my life. And I focused everything on baseball, and like I could have got like if I would say. I loved baseball the most right after I got released, right after I stopped playing. Right, I met this guy. I call him the guru. I call him the hitting magician. This old guy. I felt by chance, but you feel like when the student's ready, the teacher appears. Right, so like I met this guru who taught me exactly what we're talking about, how to simplify it, how to like why do you care so much. I can't remember what he said, but everything he was saying was so on point and speaking to me like at such a deep level. And then I trusted what he was saying, and then we started working together and training together. Completely changed everything he reminded me what it felt like to be a kid again playing, and how much of my focus was on things that weren't actually like in between the lines. We stress out about things that we're trying to become. You know, about things that other people see us a certain way, you know, and these are the things that baseball players think about when they're not doing well. And I was thinking about these things all day, and I realized, like, wait, it's like you got to put the focus on the ball. It's like, obviously, that's what my mom's been telling me since I was 6. But the focus has to be on the ball, and then you got to step out of the batter's box, and then you got to reset, and you got to focus on the ball again, and just that right there kind of. It really broke it down and simplified it. And so pitch by pitch by pitch is the same as saying like day by day by day. Like some days, when I look back or I wake up and I'm like, it really is just all about today. You know, this is all I can really focus on is like today. Some days I get those thoughts and it feels so nice. I feel so peaceful, because other days I'm thinking like about 2 years ago, 2 years in the future. things that aren't there, or things that have already happened, things that really don't exist anymore or don't exist at all. And it's so taking it pitch by pitch, day by day. You know, some days you just have. For me, I get these realizations that it's like, this is what that's all I can control. I'm like, if you can apply that to sport at a high level and life, more importantly life, because sport and life, ball is life, as they say, right? So I'm trying to like see the similarities between baseball and life, and I'm always kind of trying to see new perspectives and things like that. But the guy taught me that, and then I took it and then the next couple of years I had like the most fun playing baseball here in Toronto. I just played amateur league called the Intercounty Baseball League. You boys got to maybe do a podcast out there or something. You ever been to Christie Pitts?
Yeah.
That's where we played.
The Maple Leafs or whatever?
Yeah.
He's Nicole Gritani's sister's boyfriend.
He's the
Justin Marr, yeah.
He's going to be a catcher. No, yeah.
He's a catcher, stud, hits bombs.
He played with, I think,
Gretzky,
Gretzky's son.
I played with Gretzky's son in Quebec City as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He's still playing it all, or?
No, he
teaches hockey.
He's probably doing movies somewhere. No, his brother's teaching hockey. Unless he's helping out too. But that dude's he's a stud. I like him a lot. I went to dinner with Wayne, eh? I went to dinner.
You went to dinner with Wayne?
Wayne and Janet.
And Shanahan?
Janet,
the wife. Yeah.
His wife.
Miss Great One. And dude, Wayne just sat there just like this the whole time, smiling, having a good time. I was like, bro, this guy, I'm just looking at him across the table. God.
Dude, he's the man.
He's the man.
Rick wants to get him on the pod.
That's the goal. One day is to get Wayne on this pod.
I feel like you know what's interesting? Like I can appreciate his greatness, but I don't think I'd be starstruck sitting next to Wayne Gretzky.
I wouldn't be starstruck, but I would just appreciate the moment so much. I wouldn't even need to say that. I would just
make you feel so good. Like you're
in the presence of greatness.
Yeah.
What he did, I don't think will ever be done in hockey ever again. Like it's just.
I don't
crazy.
know well enough, but yeah, crazy. What
he dominated. He won the scoring title by 30%.
Yeah,
he had 210 points. Mario Lemieux. So mind you, it's not like it's a random person. Mario Lemieux was second at 145 or 150 or something. So maybe not 30%, 25%, give or take. That's crazy to think about.
And now he's doing a good job. He's doing everything he wants to do. He's got wines. He's got whiskeys.
He's got a whole bunch of stuff. Man, man's just living the dream.
Yeah. When you're that famous and that thing, like you ever think about his career, he probably made a lot of money, but relative to today, he probably didn't make that much. No. Like even in today's dollars, like just the caps go up, everything. But you got to think about it. Like when you are great, it doesn't matter what. If you're any sport, you're incredible, or anything, you're like the one. Opportunities come at you. I mean, another example. Like Obama was the president, make a reasonable salary. As soon as he's out of office, he gets a book deal, and it's like $50 million. Him and his wife each, like something crazy, probably deservedly so. Like I actually have one of his audiobooks, but like just when you're like when you are the one of the greatest or most revered at something, like opportunities just come knocking. Everybody and you deserve it. Like you
were the
you
best
left your
at
mark
the time,
on the world, and you'll be somebody remembered for all of time. Yeah. Crazy. How do we get on that again? But
you're talking about how I went to dinner with Wayner.
Yeah.
We're talking about Gretzky.
He's doing movies now.
Blue Jays. Or what's it called? Toronto Maple Leafs?
Maple Leafs, yeah.
I miss playing ball. I was telling Rick I wanted to. When I played after university, there's a league in Oakville, like Burlington, Oakville area after 407. Oakville Majors, maybe? I played hardball for a year again. Boy, was I bad. Couldn't hit a slider for my life. Or a breaking ball, anything. But we started playing like modified slow pitch. I was like, you could chuck it, but you couldn't wind up.
You can't windmill it.
But you can wind up. So it was like like men's league, still a beer league, but a little more competitive.
I joined. I came and played with you guys once.
Yeah, I came.
You might have been there.
Yeah, you would have been there. I think.
I only came once though.
No, I don't. I wasn't.
Maybe you weren't there, but he played with Nick.
Nah, because I played center field. I wouldn't have given up for nobody.
I played center. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you weren't there. You probably weren't there.
I was a ball hawk out there. Fat guy could track a ball. No, but that was a fun team. But I miss. I was saying to Rick, we haven't played in a while because you hurt your shoulder. You can't play.
I'm useless. Torn labrum.
Oh,
but I want to put a team together again. I want to play. Softball's still fun to play. I don't love it because like it's a little bit like Like, I love playing outfield. I grew up playing shortstop, but moved to outfield after. Wasn't as nimble.
Play some co-ed, bro. Co-ed softball.
But that's what I was thinking about doing. Like, like
so much fun.
Yeah.
The
Just for
thing about
fun, I get out there.
baseball
Oh, you play?
Yeah, the thing about baseball,
My sister's
is that
pretty good, and like I'm sure we'll get Becca to play.
The thing about baseball is
Can you
we teach the girls. Marcus,
You'll be
we'll get into your coaching career after.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about baseball is that you don't have to get dressed for it. You just show up in your shorts and t-shirt, and you're basically ready.
False. I throw white pants on. I cleats when I'm playing
Yeah,
softball.
okay, but
always.
if you're
but
playing
I'm
co-ed,
black. I come in like I'm
George is that kid that goes to Dick's Sporting Goods before every season.
100%.
Dad, I need this bat. It's like George,
I need a
that's for the
D
pros.
Marini. I need a D Marini bat and a new Rawlings Heart of the Hide glove every season. No, I'm joking. I have the same glove for my whole career, but
No, but that's it. It's like you show up. It's outdoors. It's when when someone's batting, you're just chilling half the times, hanging out, chewing spits, whatever.
it's
Like,
probably the best
having a
social
good time.
sport.
Yeah.
One of the best.
You don't come back in the dugout dying, right? It's not like soccer.
when you hit bombs like me, chugging those
Actually,
bases.
me and George had handshakes too, because
But me and Rick were so when the team we played on that you came out to. I guess I wasn't there. Me and Ricky were like, we have guys. Our buddies are good. No offense to any of our buddies, but me and Rick could just put the bat on the ball,
bombs,
and
3-4 in the lineup, bombs. And there was a train track in one of the stadiums.
Was it the game where there was a game? I think because me and him always bet back to back or relatively back, like close to each other.
Always back-to-back.
And I think it was like a playoff game. This is like the ultimate, like when you played house league and you put your stats on like Facebook. I'm gonna hype us up playing like men's league fucking bit. I think we were down like 4, and I have a video of this. Brady has a video. Yeah. And I was up to bat, bases loaded, and like Ricky was after me, I think. And I think I hit a grand slam to tie the game. And I think Ricky, or maybe you were like 2 after, and you put it out to win the game, walk off, crazy. And we won walk off.
Big deal.
And I think we won a walk off with what was it, YYG team.
Yeah, we did with that too.
Anyways, this is softball. I don't know what we're bragging about. talking about major league. You're talking about fucking playing slow pitch. But it fires me.
We're gonna start a league. Marcus, you're invited to come join us.
I'm in.
The Pals. We gotta call the Pals something.
Ooh, that's nice.
The Pals team.
Danielle.
No, the Pals something. What's a good term for baseball with a P?
Pals Pounders.
That's actually not a.
Anyways, back on top because we're gonna start.
We're gonna do slow. We're gonna take a team this year.
Okay. So you obviously you're slowly moving on from baseball and teaching. Well, not moving on, but you're starting to teach the next generation of baseball players.
Yeah.
So now, again, I feel like this is kind of like that farmer's moment where it's like, okay, you didn't quite make it to where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
So some people might say that might suck, but now you're getting to do something that you still love, and you're teaching the next generation. Maybe one of them is going to be the next, whatever, Mike Trout or Bryce Harper, and then someone's going to say, "Oh, that's so good," right?
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe.
Yeah. I train with like some of the kids that I train are sick. They're good. Like, I love it, man.
What's the best part about this part of like what you do now?
Get to know the families, dude. Like talking to father and son. Like I like doing private trainings with the son and the dad, and then walk the dad through, kind of how to coach. Maybe the things that you shouldn't be saying. Put a lot of pressure on kids.
Interesting.
I like the father-sonness of what baseball can offer, man. So I know that me and my dad that's how me and my dad like spent every morning and after school together. So I value like that family aspect, and because kids like they'll do anything to like, I don't know, maybe not every kid, but the father-son aspect, I just really enjoy, man. So, and then getting to know the families and the community, and and plus I'm good at it, bro. Because I mean, I focus on the mental game, but these kids they just want to like hit balls and stuff. But like, I mean, I like working with the older kids too, the ones who maybe can make it to the next step soon. So I like instantaneous results, things that give them instantaneous results, right? And that's usually a mindset shift, more than any type of like anything I can work on with their swing and things like that. So, dude, I'm very happy with what I'm doing now, and like, I mean, I don't know where it's gonna end up. Like, I want to keep doing it. I want to make time and continue to do that. But at this point, I'm open to like building something of my own, and then, teaching them how to get out of baseball. That's the next step. Because once you put all your life and hard work, 'cause like some of these kids, they train they're 12 and they train 7 times a week, and they put so much effort into it, right? So like when baseball's over, it's like, well, what was all that effort for? And a lot of players can struggle with the next step, right? So I think the next step for me is focusing on, you know, more life after baseball, other ways to build a life, you know, in the system that we have now, and help them eventually get, you know, make their own way and make it feel good, instead of like, oh man, I sucked, I failed. Make them see the brighter side, and kind of things we're talking about. Like, there's no good or bad. There's no such thing as good and bad. Like that story you're saying, like it happened and you learn from it and then you grow, and that's what it's ultimately about. So that's, yeah.
And and I agree with that. You think sometimes people might say like, oh, well, you got drafted, you know, 3rd round, you didn't get to play in the majors. Some people might say, oh, that's it's like, no, you got to do it. 99.89% of people never get to do.
I will tell you one thing though. I did play in a couple of big league spring training games, and then when I was like top prospect status, coming off an all-star year, they brought me up to a bunch of the games, and they actually started me in a game against the Tigers, like Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, a bunch of studs I was playing against. I started as a DH, which is like unheard of. Ended up hitting a bomb in the game. Like, I don't know, it was at the Tiger Stadium in spring training in Florida, and Crazy Eddie, the photographer for the Jays, got a picture of me on the swing that I hit the home run on. Got it, and it was framed. It was Toronto Sun, like front page of the sports section. It was like Knecht connects.
Oh,
so that's like, I'm like, that's what I can at least be left with, you know? Like that happened.
Yeah.
And so
I wonder.
That's
I don't know why that
peak.
sounds so familiar, and I'm not just saying that to say that, but like, yeah, because I remember we're the same age. So we didn't know each other, because obviously I didn't even know Rick till university. But I always remember when you I remember you when you got drafted and all those things.
Yeah?
I always see your name, and I could have swore there's a chance I might have seen that picture.
I don't remember. I don't know if I remember that.
It might have been like on Twitter or something back in the day. I saw it posted by like the Sun or Toronto, like something, Toronto Sports or something like that. Anyways, I think it sounds familiar.
I know I remember the 2 and 12, the 2 bombs. I remember that like vividly. I feel like me and Vic DeJulia were talking about it. Man, I talked to Vic.
You did, eh?
Yeah, me and Vic are still buddies. Like, because he works with like somebody we do a lot of work with. I talked to him on the phone maybe like a month ago. He's having his second kid, or just had a second kid.
He just had his first beautiful baby, man. Beautiful eyes on the kid. I haven't seen him in a while, but man, I love that guy. I love his wife Meg, and the baby's name is Violet. Violet, I believe. Yeah. He's mint.
Yeah.
He's
I remember
mint.
the 2 for 12. They're both bombs. I remember that.
No, it's not even a single, baby.
I wish that would have been my dream. Play ball in the States.
Yeah,
I would have loved to play baseball.
Did you ever know Anthony Ricciardi?
No.
No, because where did he play?
He's a bit younger, I think. He played at
he's not much younger. He's in
something State in Alabama.
Alabama State?
No, it was a JUCO. It was a D1 school.
JUCO Bandit.
Jackson State? No.
There's so many Alabama. There's so many JUCOs, so many schools, man.
But it was a D1. It was something State. I can't remember. Anyways, he did this work.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. He's an artist now, but yeah, he played ball.
Alabama State, yeah.
Alabama State?
Got him.
Yeah, he wanted to play for there was a specific coach he liked or something. He told us a story. I didn't even know he played. I don't think I knew he played ball. I knew he was an artist because I didn't know him back then.
Oh yeah.
And then when we met, I kind of heard about
story.
it. Yeah, but his story was cool. Like, he didn't get, from what I recall, Anthony, sorry if I butchered the story, but like, he didn't get scouted, and he had the drive. Like, he just knew he was gonna play, and he was like emailing. I think he said emailed every single D1 school like multiple times. Found the coaches, connected with them, all that stuff. Like, he just like he willed, not willed his way, like he made it happen himself, but he willed it into existence. Like, he knew he was going to play.
Beautiful.
He made it happen, and it was like his last. I think it was like one school he had a tryout, but the coach from the other school that he wanted, I think was one that he considered, was there, and they just collided. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, come out for a tryout." Made the team.
But I remember one of the big things too is like he would tell coaches, he's like, I'm going to be majoring in finance. The finance building is a block away from the baseball diamond, so I'll be able to go back and forth between classes.
This is research.
Like, yeah, he did it all, and he ended up.
And he's obviously like doing very well for himself now, like very well known artist, and good for him.
Life after baseball.
That's what I mean.
You find what you're passionate about. I pay attention to where I pay attention. Like, I pay attention to what I'm interested in, and that kind of is what guides. That's the information I'd give. Pay attention to what you're like, where your attention goes, what you remember the most, and then maybe that could be a clue.
Yeah.
To where you on your path, the next path, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just pay attention to what you enjoy. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it.
That was great.
Well, on that note, Marcus, man, appreciate you coming in. It's been
thanks
a
for
while
having
since
me.
we got to sit down and connect like that.
not
Like
the first time, but
And when we get the softball team coming out, we'll get you over some games. Put your DH, just hit bombs for us.
yeah. I don't want to do any defense, bro. Sit on the bench, bomb, drink.
Sit back down, have a beer.
If people want to find out more about you, what you're doing, where can they go? How can they find you?
Instagram's fine. Marcus Allen K, MarcusAllenK.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Do you do any and also just a shout out do you do any private stuff if people reach out, if any baseball families, friends, or do you kind of is that more through a facility, or would you
No, man. If anybody that you guys know contacts you about anything baseball, then just send them to me. Especially if the kid enjoys it and he's coachable, or if he wants to. I'm pretty confident that that's the place to be, man. I'm the place to be.
Love it. We'll send them your way.
Thanks, bud.
And when I got a little one, I'm sending him over. You're gonna teach him how to hit some bombs. Because I ain't teaching him nothing. Teach him how to hit the softballs out. Anyways,
that's it. If you made it to the end of the episode, we appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. And that's it. Signing off, pals. Cheers.
See ya.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain. And I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high. Got alone with no one thing.